Welcome to a brand new episode of The Drop, the weekly show where I let you know the hottest games coming out across the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, as well as the PC and the Nintendo Switch. Of course, my name is Samuel Adams, and this week we have a slew of new games coming out, including a brand new Mega Man Legacy Collection as our headliner. For fans of Wasteland, good news, the remaster is coming out. Bloodroots is an interesting little game, and on top of that, One Punch Man, a hero nobody knows, is also hitting consoles as well as the PC platform. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into it. To kick things off this week, Mega Man ZeroZX Legacy Collection is coming out on the PS4, the Xbox One, the Switch, and the PC. 6 action-packed games. The collection features 2 series of games alongside a host of new features for both longtime fans and brand new players. All 4 Mega Man Zero games, Mega Man ZX and Mega Man ZX Advent, bring their blend of high-octane action and precise platforming together for the first time. Join the Resistance as the titular fan favorite protagonist, Zero, and save Neo Arcadia by mastering some of the most challenging and thrilling boss battles ever across all 4 games of the Mega Man Zero series. Taking place over 200 years after the events of the Mega Man Zero series, defend the innocent from Mavericks and discover your destiny as either the male or female protagonist of ZX and ZX Advent. So for those that don't know what's going on with Mega Man, essentially whenever Mighty No. 9 came out and it completely and totally bombed, just a horrible game in general, everybody said, hey, why don't we just put the old Mega Man games out on the newest generation of consoles? And so they started doing that in droves with various Mega Man Legacy Collections, which we've been seeing released over the course of the past 2 or 3 years. Now, we are getting into the early to mid 2000s of Mega Man with the Zero/ZX Legacy Collection. And that's not a bad thing. It's pretty much completing the collection. So if you're a fan of old school platforming, if you are a fan of Mega Man, by all means, this week's release is going to be a big one for you with Mega Man Zero/ZX Legacy Collection coming out on the PS4, the Xbox One, the Switch, as well as the PC. Next up, Wasteland Remastered is launching on the Xbox One as well as the PC. Originally released in 1988, Wasteland brought the post-apocalypse to video games and inspired a genre. Play one of history's defining RPGs with completely overhauled graphics, sound, and expanded musical score. The year is 2087, nearly a century after an all-out nuclear war turned vast swaths of the earth into a radioactive hellscape. You are a desert ranger, a band of stalwart lawmen who are the only hope left in what was once the American Southwest, and good people's last defense against hunger, sickness, ravaging raiders, and mutants. Now, something more secretive and sinister is menacing humanity, and it's your job to investigate. Recruit help and follow leads. The choices you make will shape the world around you. Choose wisely. Your life and the lives of those you've sworn to protect depend on it. And of course, some bullet points. Wasteland Remastered retains the spirit of the original game while updating visuals and audio. The original game's physical storybook is available in-game, fully illustrated and with full voiceover. An expanded musical score from the Wasteland 1, the original classic release. Old bugs that have been around since Reagan was president have been fixed. Survive the apocalypse from the comfort of your couch with the game controller support, and quality of life improvements have been implemented to make the post-apocalypse a little bit friendlier. So I've never been a big Wasteland guy. Of course, this game came out way before my time, but for old school gaming fans, it still represents pretty much the launch of the post-apocalypse in video games. I would say without Wasteland, you probably would never have had Fallout, and of course without Fallout, you never would have had so many of the incredible RPGs that we have today. So with that being said, the history behind Wasteland Remastered is very, very in-depth. The one thing I want to point out from the actual description itself is I like whenever a game is touched up or remastered, but they do insert some quality of life improvements. In a way, it's kind of like Resident Evil 2, where if you had still had those tank controls, the game would have been terrible in today's modern standard society. And so with the quality of life improvements in Wasteland with controller support as well, I think this one is going to be a very big hit. And on top of that, it is also included for free with Xbox Game Pass. So if you subscribe to that, hey, jump on board, because why not? You have it anyway. Next up, we have Bloodroots coming out on the PS4, the Xbox One, the Switch, and the PC. In Bloodroots, the world is your weapon. Improvise and adapt to an ever-changing ballet of ultraviolence and a bloody revenge quest across the Weird West. Betrayed and left for dead, Mr. Wolf is hell-bent on finding his killer and enacting revenge, alone and vastly outnumbered. Thankfully to Mr. Wolf, the world is your weapon in Bloodroots, a relentless action game that unfolds across the sprawling Weird West. You'll choreograph spectacular ultra-violent combos by making use of everything around you, from hatchets to ladders to carrots. It's improvise or die as Mr. Wolf fights his way to the center of the mystery. Why was he betrayed? Some features include a world overflowing with makeshift weapons that not only change the way you fight, but how you get around. Improvise the most deadly combos and compete for fame on worldwide leaderboards. Fight your way through a variety of handcrafted levels from forests to mountaintops and experience a twisted Western revenge tale with a deranged cast of characters. Whenever you look at Bloodroot's gameplay, it's basically Hotline Miami combined with The Flame and the Flood. It's just a strange game with a strange art style, but it's growing on me the more that I actually watch the game. Now, of course, the main draw here is the various ways that you kill people, so if you're not really into that as the main gimmick, then you might not be interested in this one this week, but it's a cool looking game with a cool looking premise, and it looks like it has some pretty solid gameplay. So if you want to check it out, Bloodroots is coming out this week on the PS4, the Xbox One, the Switch, and the PC. Next up, we have One Punch Man, a hero nobody knows, coming out on the PS4, the Xbox One, and the PC. This is an action fighting game set in a universe where threats are daily occurrences and heroes the sole hope against annihilation. Saitama? That's a massacred that name. The main protagonist is a hero that can obliterate even the strongest foes with a single punch. He's the bald guy that we all know. A situation that bother him to no end? Okay. The game will feature 3v3 battles where players can form powerful teams using many familiar faces. The first confirmed playable characters being, oh god, why? Genos, Hellish Blizzard, Moomin Rider, Speedo Sound, Sonic, and Saitama. To all of the anime fans out there, I apologize deeply. Needless to say, if you can't tell by my horrible pronunciations, I've never watched an episode of One Punch Man in my life, and I'm not a big fan of anime, but hey, people are into this kind of thing, so I needed to talk about it on today's show. In a world where Dragon Ball Z can have Kakarot come out and make waves, as in the top 5 make waves, then I don't see why a One Punch Man game can't also be a pretty big deal. So if you're into this, by all means, you can check out the game when it launches this week on the PS4, the Xbox One, and the PC. Before we leave, let's take a look at our honorable mentions. Samurai Showdown is coming out on the Nintendo Switch, One Finger Death Punch 2 is coming out on the Xbox One and the Switch, 2 Point Hospital is coming out on the PS4, the Xbox One, and the PC, and Metro Redux, a collection of both Metro 2033 and Metro Last Light, is coming out on the Nintendo Switch as well. But that rounds out today's episode of The Drop. If you enjoyed this one, drop me a like down below and let me know what games caught your eye this week, if there is anything you are going to be picking up. Of course, a very big week for the Nintendo Switch with several notable ports, specifically Metro Redux, and on top of that, Bloodroots looks pretty good, Wasteland Remastered for the classic fan in you. I would love to hear your thoughts down below. But until next time, you guys have a fantastic rest of the week. I'll talk to you soon, and peace.